Sick.
All right, everyone, it's 6:45 p.m. and I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you so much for taking time tonight, and I hope you all have fun in this meeting. We do meet every Wednesday.
Bye.
Sorry? Okay, bye. We do meet every Wednesday at 6:45 p.m. So do visit us next time. Can you turn your cameras on so I can take a quick snap for the social media, please? All right. Adam, if you can. Oh, thank you. Smile, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and I just saw that I am shouting go here, and I've captured that. Thank you, everyone. Okay. So, please, we do have an officer meeting right after this, so please stay on if you'd like to. And congratulations to all the award winners tonight. Let's hear for all our awards, okay? First of all, so last award for tonight is our Tim Chastain Award. The Tim Chastain Award was originated by Central Florida facilitator, co-founder, and second president, Tim Chastain. This award is given at the president's discretion and is intended to recognize contributions to our meeting that are notable for their quality, significance, effort, or uniqueness that might otherwise go unnoticed. Tonight's Tim Chastain Award recipient is the one that prepared the most for the meeting tonight, and I would love to congratulate him for running the evaluation sections with such an amazing fervor. Tonight's Tim Chastain recipient is Martin Friedman. Woo! Our second last award for tonight is Most Improved Award. The Most Improved Speaker for tonight goes to, drum rolls please, Kathy Jorgensen. Yay! Our third award for tonight.
Wasn't that Nestle Nerigrog?
Sorry?
Her name, Nestle Nerigrog.
Oh, yeah. Nesnegrog Yatak. I like the name
Stop
Yatak.
it, something. Stop it.
Klingon. It's Klingon.
It's Klingon? Okay. All right. Our third award for tonight is the Best Table Topics Award. And the Best Table Topics Award for tonight goes to Susan Morgan. Our second award for tonight is Best Evaluator. Drum rolls, please. Our Best Evaluator for tonight is Kayla Finneran. The most important award for tonight, and I'm going to start with the best one, is the Best Speaker Award. And the Best Speaker Award for tonight goes to, drum rolls please, Randall Crosby. Woo! All right.
I'm leaving now.
I'm
leaving now that I can hear. Bye.
Let's hear from our guests for tonight. How did they like our meeting? Adam, if you'd unmute yourself and show us your pretty face and tell us how you liked the meeting tonight.
I found the meeting interesting, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters. It's not often I attend such a meeting. I think it's the first one that I have attended this year. It's always interesting to see clubs do something that adds a little variety to their weekly meetings. Madam President.
Thank you so much, Adam, and I hope that you visit us again. All right, let's ask our Vice President of Education for what's there for the next week. Stephen, if you can show us Easy Speak, that would be great.
I'll do my best here. So
All right.
Next week we have a Toastmaster and a Sergeant at Arms, and everyone gets to volunteer now. Who is taking up other roles? Who wants to speak next week?
I'd like to
Can I be
speak.
table topics?
Kathy,
Or did Bob beat me
I
to it?
asked for speakers first, Kathy.
Oh, well, I apologize. I was going backwards.
Bob, speaker. Anyone else?
What's the date of that meeting?
April 7th.
Next week.
Thank you. April 7th. No, I can't commit to it.
7 days from today.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
All right.
That was too much math.
Kathy, you wanted table topics?
I should
Yes,
be
sir.
able to speak.
Hey, any evaluators? Anyone wish to evaluate? Kayla,
I
are
think
you
Martin said he wanted to speak.
Yeah, I'll speak, hopefully.
How do you speak? Kayla, you okay with Toastmaster?
Kayla.
Yes, I am.
Good, thank
Sorry, couldn't get off mute.
you.
He
All
said
right.
Kaylee, that's why.
I can try to evaluate then and see what comes from that. Anyone else?
May I be the counter, please?
Sure you don't want to evaluate?
Yes, sir.
She's like, yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Any other volunteers? Alana, you going to be here? You know? Okay.
Then I can take up the speech or general evaluation, one of those.
You want to speak?
Speech evaluation or general evaluation, either one.
I'll put you down as evaluator, and then we'll see what comes of it.
Okay.
All right. I'll make those updates, and we'll see what comes next.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephen. Wow, wasn't that a wonderful meeting tonight? Thank you so much, Mr. General Evaluator, for that excellent report of the meeting.
Here, now I'm going to pass the meeting back to our wonderful president, Shakti Priya. So tonight's meeting was great. I think we started on time. Everybody got into the spirit of our theme. We had some wonderful, wonderful speeches from Kathy and Randall. We also had some wonderful evaluations from Rupi and Kayla. So thank you very much all for that. I loved our enlightening and energetic table topics. So with that being said, I'd like to go to our functionary reports and start with our counter report with Stephen, or lastly, Stephen.
Oh boy. So this is what I heard so far. I heard from Susan, 12 bridge words and 3 ums. Adam, thanks for coming. We still heard 3 you-knows. I do count those. Bob, you were rather bamboozled by all the hiccups. Sorry, couldn't tell them from the odds. Sorry about that. Martin, 3 pregnant pauses. I think you're about to give birth at one of those points. Kathy, you were clean. Kayla, you were clean. And let's see, I've got Ilana, 3 tongue clicks. Come on, girl. And Priya, I got, oh yeah, Priya. Okay, 6 ahs, 5 bridge words, 4 ums, 3 basicallys, 2 tongue clicks, and a partridge in a pear tree. Thanks for joining in. You win tonight. Mr. General Evaluator.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Alana, for your grammarian report.
Yes. So this evening was very unusual, very colorful indeed. First of all, Kathy, I love how you said the phrase, the key to happiness is self-love. Absolutely. And Kayla, really surprising. She went off on a tangent today and used an enormous amount of expletives, which was very uncalled for, but nice to hear some unusual vocabulary from you today. Martin, felt the heat and managed to use the word of the day 3 times. Word of the day, by the way, is bamboozled. Randall, great use of the phrase, if you've got it, flaunt it. It really added color to your speech. Susan spoke unusually quickly today, and I had a hard time grasping everything she said. It sounded like you said the phrase, doth thy mirror crack, which was certainly very interesting. Rupi was here and spoke a lot, and he actually smiled today and spoke Hindi. And finally, Bob won the contest by using the word of the day 5 times with an equal amount of expletives. Well done, everyone.
So before Alana gives her report, I want to thank Susan for her timer's report, even though I feel she bamboozled one of our evaluators on their timing.
Well, thank you, Marvin, for that, for calling my time here. I'm not sure about that, but the timing started with Kayla at 2 minutes and 32 seconds. And then Rupi, his evaluation was 3 minutes and 26 seconds, just under the wire. So they both qualify. Madam, Mr. General Evaluator.
All right, Susan, I'm going to call on you next for timer's report. It seems Rupi dipped out on us early today. So do we have anybody who will volunteer for an evaluation for Kathy? No?
Can we do a round robin?
Okay, sounds good. We'll do round robin, and as general evaluator, I will start. Kathy, what a wonderful speech. However, I'm not sure I quite understood why you just left us hanging for like 30 seconds. You just kind of got up and then came back. I don't know if that was like a water break or something, but let's try to avoid those in the future. Thank you. Next, Priya or Bob. I saw Bob raise his hand.
Damn it, woman. Why did you keep burping during the whole exam? It left us completely bamboozled while you were trying to give a speech with gas. I mean, cut off the cabbage before you actually start speeching. It was friggin' horrendous. I could smell it from over here. But that being said, I would have paid attention, but the damn noise in the background with the wife doing dishes and the patients calling me on the phone, it left me completely flabbergasted and bamboozled. That's all I have. Thank you.
Anybody else? Stephen, is that a waiver or a volunteer? I can't tell. You're being voluntold.
Oh, really? Well, I don't think I can take the self-acceptance. I was too offended this time. And I don't know if I can offer much more at the moment. I'll have to think about it.
I'll add real quickly, Kathy, you were so bright this evening that I could even see you, and I'm bamboozled about that. Thank you for a terrific speech. But watch out for the water breaks and the cabbage. I agree. Thank you.
All right.
I think Kathy's upset now.
Priya, you got something?
Basically, Kathy, what a wonderful icebreaker it was. It's okay that you stopped for 40 seconds. It's fine. But basically, it was an excellent speech. Thank you.
All right. Adam, would you like to join in on the fun?
Yes, thank you, Mr. GE. Kathy, I would just comment on your visual appearance on the screen, as that is also something that needs to be evaluated in this Zoom moment. I would just say the pink on the vibrant background that you have going on presently, just something to be mindful of. You don't want things like that upstaging your wonderful speech that we all enjoyed. And whether it's a colorful background like you've got or a Toastmasters background, just be mindful of what you're wearing vis-a-vis the background.
All right. So now thank you, Kayla, for that wonderful evaluation. Now we'll move on to our second evaluation for the night.
Thank you. Randall, another very inspiring and humorous speech. I've been excited to hear more about your running adventures, and I'm so glad you finally told us all about them. Overall, your speech flowed well. In past speeches, you've told us about your friend who encouraged you to get into running. In this speech, you shared your purpose, which I thought was great. Possibly you could go into further detail about this, but overall, wonderful job. I know several long distance runners, but I can't say I've ever met anyone quite as excited about running as you. The jumping up and down and yelling really conveyed your excitement. I myself have never been that excited to run, so good for you. You have much better endurance than I do. I'd love to know more about those gummies you ate before each run. Tell us what they look like, what flavors you like or don't. I'm curious to know which brand of flavors you've found that works best for you. I was surprised to learn that you participated in the red dress run, where you ran in a red ball gown. I would have put my money on Bob doing something like that, not you. One tip I have that would really add to your speech is to wear your running attire. Shirts, shorts, sweatband, hydration belt. It would really give us a full effect. Even show us your shoes and socks. Non-runners don't understand the importance of having the right running socks and shoes. Overall, once again, great job. Thank you for making us laugh and being a true inspiration.
Our first evaluator this evening had recently been wondering when the next Backwards meeting would be. She was delighted when Priya announced in last week's meeting the Backwards meeting was tonight. Please welcome Kayla Finneran. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for the wonderful introduction. I feel I have not been bamboozled out of a full intro.
All right, so our next section for tonight is it's evaluation. Friedman Martin, welcome please. Meeting up mixed crazy, this off part B, too excited is Evaluator General tonight, or tonight's General Evaluator is excited to be a part of this crazy mixed up meeting. Please welcome Martin Friedman. Okay. Wow, wasn't that a wonderful, wonderful table topic section? Please vote for the best table topic speaker. Thank you so much, Bob.
And I now turn the meeting over to our Madam President and Toastmaster of the day, Miss Priya Gowrie. Could we please get a timer's report for our speakers today?
Thank you, Bob. Well, we had Marvin speak for 1 minute and 43 seconds. Ilana spoke for 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Stephen spoke for 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And I managed to come in just under the wire at 1 minute. So that is my timer's report for this evening, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Damn it, Martin, what the hell were you thinking with that answer? It left us all completely bamboozled.
Thank you, Bob, for that wonderful question. You see, yes, I absolutely know that the sky is blue, but refuse to believe it. In my perception of reality, the sky is pink during the day, and then as we reach twilight, where you would normally see a pink sky, I have a blue sky. And then finally, at night, it gets brighter. Yes, I live in a reverse world, and I choose to live in a reverse world. My days are nights and nights are days. That is why I voted for Lyndon B. Johnson. Thank you very much.
Superman is my favorite hero, and one of his enemies was Bizarro from Bizarro Land. Please give us an example of your own Bizarro Land. Martin Friedman. Alana, you left us completely flabbergasted when you started to do a jig right in the middle of your speech. I really don't get it, but
Ilana, you're muted.
Know that you're muted.
So this was the third dance contest that I had won internationally. As I said, I won the dance contest in Bali, I won the dance contest in Dominican Republic, and then I won the last dance contest in Mexico. So I'm gonna show you the winning move. Actually, I'm a little bit nervous to do the full move because I don't have a lot of room here, but it involves something like, and it gets me the prize every time. Don't hate that I'm the better dancer at the pool. That is my story of the most prizes that I have won. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Describe for us that one time you went into a pie eating contest, Alana. I don't know about you, but this last speech left me completely bamboozled, and I had no idea why Stephen was actually doing it.
Stephen, you're muted.
Once upon a time, I had a physics professor back at UF, and he made this entire stink. It took like half a class one day about how every science fiction book is awful and stupid because at the very basic premise underlying that story would be something that breaks physics, something that is completely incompatible with physics as we know it. So I decided one day that I was going to take this book that I had read. I liked it. It was really good. And it was science fiction. And the guy who wrote it, his name is Robert L. Forward, is a physicist. He had a PhD in, it was gravitational physics. And he had written this book based on gravitational physics was involved and the possibility of magnetic monopoles, which don't or may not exist. We haven't found them, but theoretically we can make the equations fit. So all of these things were physically possible. And he'd written a story based on that, which eventually resulted in life on the surface of a neutron star. Fascinating, where you can read this entire story about a completely alien race living millions of times faster than us, and where cannibalism is perfectly normal for them and fits their culture, and you don't even have to get offended from it. And there's no gender differences between the two. So really fascinating way of just looking at everything so very differently, not just culturally, but scientifically. And I brought this book to him after hours one point and say, no, you should read this. He'd already made this rant. And 2 weeks later, he came in one of the other classes that he had there and started praising this book I had provided to him. And it was fascinating to see him do this complete turnaround. Here was a book that was science fiction and was scientifically sound. completely upending his entire argument from 2 weeks before. I'm glad he liked it. And I always recommend that book. It's a real mind bender if you're willing to put the time into it. So consider it. The book is Dragon's Egg, Robert L. Forward. Enjoy.
Stephen Morgan, describe for us your favorite book that would go completely over everyone's head. I don't know about the rest of you, but I was completely bamboozled because I still have absolutely no idea why Susan did her entire table topic speech muted.
It looks like Susan can't hear us or see us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I muted?
And she's the timer, so we're going to tell her when she's stopped.
I still have a ways to go, so I will just talk. And I have to tell you, even though I was muted, that I was talking about my darling triplet babies. They are no longer babies. They turned 24 today. And we had a little party for my daughter, and we called my 2 sons and talked to them, and they're all having a good day doing that. And I am so excited about their lives, and I'm so glad that I got to talk to you tonight about my babies. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Susan Morgan, describe for us the most unique experience that you've ever had that led you to the secret of existence. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that introduction. I have some wonderful table topics questions for everybody today.
The next section for our meeting is the much awaited section of all. Tonight's table topic master has prepared an introduction for you that I would want to put on the chat. Can you decipher that? You have 5 seconds. It took me a little while to start reading it from right to left. And here I go. Distinguished Toastmaster, Bob Fisher loves table topics. Anyone after that? Martin, what's right after?
Oh, this is payback. What's going to happen later in the meeting? Tonight's theme is especially exciting as it's...
Stop. Kayla, what's next? What's the next word? It's there on the chat. This is to see if everyone's following. Muhahaha. I should have the evil hat on.
On the chat?
Yep. Distinguished Toastmaster Bob Fisher loves table topics. Tonight's theme is especially exciting as it's... What's the word after that? Come on, everyone. Anyone might be called anytime.
Gonna.
Backwards.
Gonna be. Stephen, go on.
Totally off the, yeah. Oh, I really want to say something else different looking at that. Okay.
So now, go on.
Join Bob for the craziness that is gonna
happen tonight. It's Topics Mania. For the sake of everyone, Distinguished Toastmaster Bob Fisher loves table topics. Tonight's theme is especially exciting as it's going to be totally off the cuff. Join Bob for the craziness that's going to happen tonight. It's Table Topics Mania.
I just said let them figure it out. I did not mention the torture part.
Well, thank you so much for the timers report, Susan.
Point of order, can I ask a question? Point of order, who's the first speaker tonight, if I may ask?
Two speakers tonight, Randall.
Who's first?
The first speaker is going to be you, technically, which means you're going to speak second.
Oh, okay. Just so I know.
Yeah. Thank you for the timers report, Susan.
You are welcome. I am so excited to get your time to give the times of these wonderful speeches. Kathy was supposed to speak for 4 to 6 minutes. She spoke 6 minutes and 10 seconds. And then Randall's speech was required time 5 to 7 minutes, and he spoke 7 minutes and 2 seconds. So they both qualify for voting tonight.
Can we please have our timers report, Susan? All right, now that's how you should give an icebreaker. If only I knew how an icebreaker is supposed to be given at this time, at the time I gave it. Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful speech, Kathy.
Okay, my apologies. I had to refill. So I take it that's my cue. By the grace of God, only by the grace of God, I had the good fortune today to check out our St. Augustine's Facebook page. And as usual, I saw a video today that Gina Lovick from our VIP Toastmasters had posted. Now, Gina is our resident genius for social media, and she's posting on all of our, on our Facebook page and Facebook group, et cetera, There's always one, but today was special. Today there was a talk. She posted a YouTube. No, it was a TED talk that she posted today by this young woman named Fern Lulham. Now she's British, which doesn't mean anything, but I always like the way they talk. Their language is so beautiful. But anyway, she challenges the idea that total acceptance of oneself is necessary for others to accept us. Then goes on to explain that self-acceptance is not a moment of enlightenment, but a roller coaster ride. And I agree. Madam Toastmaster, Toastmasters and welcome guests. When I heard that, I had to start doing my little happy dance, much like what Ilana did previously. I had been bamboozled all of this time by my parents, by my peers, by my little baby brother. You have to be perfect. You are too thin or too fat, too ugly, not pretty enough. Well, that's sort of the same thing, or too pretty. Or you hear also as you get older, oh, you're too rich or you're too poor. You don't fit in here. You have to go over there, but I don't want to go over there. Well, okay, fine. So then you have to start accepting the fact that you're not perfect. But you want to be. You keep trying to be because you want that level of acceptance, especially by your mom. The one who abuses you the most mentally, physically, it doesn't matter. Well, there's only two ways, isn't there? So you're always trying to address that situation. You're always trying to impress that person. Roy T. Bennett said, accept yourself, love yourself, and keep moving forward. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. And that is just one of the thousands of quotes that you have to accept yourself. But what if you don't? What if you can't get to that place of nirvana? What if you can't get into that place where, okay, I am this or I am that, I have this fault, I have that fault, and just move forward. It's exhausting for all the things. And it's truly a vicious cycle of trying to become a better person, trying to fix all that's wrong with you, all those things that your parents told you was wrong, your siblings, and on and on. I already went through that. I'll not bore you with those details again. Okay, so you have a lot of work to do. What do you do? And I've been, for 100 years, it seems like I've been trying to start my own photography business. I've had so many opportunities. I've had the opportunities to show in 2 small town museums. And we're not talking the Louvre or the Smithsonian, but just 2 small town museums. But still, you get my point. And also a few art galleries. I've had the good fortune to have some incredible teachers, but I always told myself and others that my photos just aren't good enough. I need more time, better understanding. Ooh, I need a new camera. This one's just not good enough. So much money. And then you have to try to understand Photoshop. I have to learn all of Photoshop before I can do anything. And then you have to learn social media. So now I refer back to Gina Lovick, who is this genius, and still I can't get all of this social media because I hate it. But I digress. But then you get to be my age. You don't know who you are. You've been reading self-improvement books since you could read and still carrying that feeling of not being good enough. But after listening to Fern today, the proverbial light bulb went off. Oh, and I might also add that she is totally blind since birth. I don't have to accept every single thing that's wrong with me. I can still be a work in progress till that day I go into the light, and I will be going into the light. But what I can do is finally forgive myself. This is definitely going to take a while, however. But today, just recently, I heard the phrase, the key to happiness is self-love. So I'm going to dive into that. And I'm going to take that one to heart, warts and all. And come to find out that's the most important thing that you can give yourself. And the other is your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. And that was, I just read in The Go-Giver, fabulous book. Madam Toastmaster.
It's time for our second speech tonight. Kathy always taught that to reach nirvana, you had to accept yourself 100%. Oh boy, was she wrong. Please welcome Kathy to the virtual lectern with her speech entitled, Unconditional Self-Acceptance is Not Attainable. Madam Timer, thank you for that 1 minute of silence where everyone took time to give feedback to Randall for his speech.
One minute.
Timer, can we please have a minute on the clock so that everyone can give feedback to Randall? Thank you so much for that amazing speech of how to lead and the speech about your journey, Randall.
Yes.
Go on, Kathy.
Can you give me screen share, please?
Everyone can share.
Oh, excellent.
Bob Fisher would have been proud of me on that day. When they told me, Randall, you've got to wear a red dress for this 5K race, I said, hey man, if you got it, flaunt it. And I did. When I crossed that finish line in that red gown and high heels, I jumped out of excitement. It was great. But then I realized when you fall down on your back in a red gown, it's not such a great photo opportunity. Now let me get on to my speech with my frazzled, scattered brain on this backward night of meeting. Boom! That was the sound of the door closing. That door was the door of my business. That sound was a familiar sound all around the state of Florida, all around the United States, and I think even the world. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it all happened back on March of 2020, just last year. We all know what happened. Doors of businesses were closing as we received the news about a virus, news about a pandemic, and news about shutdowns of so many businesses. In March of 2020, I was self-employed in my own business. Thankfully, I'm still self-employed in that same business. I bounced back, but it took many months. Unlike so many of my fellow blind entrepreneurs here in Florida, my peers, they're still shut down to this point. Some of them. Some may never recover. I am one of the officers of a volunteer organization called Randolph Shepherd Vendors of Florida. All of us officers were in a dilemma, at a loss as to what we could do to help our fellow blind entrepreneurs. In Randolph Shepherd Vendors of Florida, we are charged with the mission of supporting, advocating for, and promoting and even protecting when we can our fellow blind entrepreneurs. We didn't know what to do. We struggled for months trying to find an answer. When one day in June or July of 2020, I randomly put a picture of myself and my sighted guide, William, on Facebook. A picture of us with the post that says, my sighted guide, William, and I just finished running 3 miles in my neighborhood. I was surprised at the response. I had done this many times before, but this time I had so many likes and comments about it, uplifting and positive, all of them. The light bulb went off in my head. This is the answer. I can do a 5K and 10K running event, and I will call it Run with a Vision, 5K and 10K. I was so happy that I could lead with a vision for my organization and turn it into a Run with a Vision event. And we ran in November. Kathy.
Hey, we're up here, probably about 1.5 miles, 1.5 miles into this 10K, 6.2 miles. So we're doing good out here. I got William McBrome, my guide. I got Stephen Sykes running the camera. His wife Jacqueline over there next to me. My other guide runners up ahead, who does not do Facebook. And we're having a great time out here. Yeah. Beautiful day. It is. It's perfect. Run with a Vision, 5K and 10K. Together we can run with a vision. And the website is rsvf.org. Check us out. Thanks to all of you who are running along with me. Send me your videos.
As we logged in the miles on that November day in 2020, 6.2 miles to be exact. We were logging in dollars coming in because I had made many posts on Facebook promoting this event. I put those videos on Facebook, other videos promoting it, and I used my Toastmaster skills of speaking to promote it effectively. We raised $2,000 just because of this small, simple thing that happened. I look forward to the next event in November because this will be the annual Run with a Vision.
Green.
Kathy?
Oh.
We crossed that finish line on that day, William and I, and my other sighted guides and friends, and several people around the state of Florida as well, sent their videos in to me that ran on their own, as we had to do it that way to be safe and practice social distancing. I learned a lot about this event. I learned that I can't use media, and there's a lot more. I only touched the tip of the iceberg. I don't feel like I was bamboozled in any way throughout the whole event. Everyone was so supportive and thoughtful and helping and giving their dollars. It was amazing. When you lead your volunteer organization with vision, which I challenge you to do in your own organization, lead with a vision, you will always finish like a winner. Madam Toastmaster.
Let's start with our first speech for tonight. Randall Crosby has been in Toastmasters over 2 years. He's enjoying the journey. He's been moving forward quickly, but believes that tonight he's taking a step backwards here at Central Florida Facilitators. But apparently, this is the perfect place and time for him to take a step backwards, since this is a backwards meeting. Speaking from Pathways Presentation Mastery Level 5, Leading in Your Volunteer Organization, Randall will tell us his own story of how he leads with a vision. Presenting Randall Crosby, Lead with a Vision. Thank you so much for that 1 minute of time, Madam Timer, before we begin our speeches tonight. Randall, did you want us to give verbal feedback for your speeches since you said the notes don't help you much?
Oh yes, thank you. That would be terrific. Anyone? Thank you.
Stephen.
You want to have any comments?
Stephen.
What? You want something?
Anything, yeah, just for the minute, because verbal.
Oh, for Randall. Oh, I see. The most notable thing, and this is more your style that I had noticed over many speeches there, you do have a lot of longer pauses between some thoughts. That's probably a result of having to try and keep up with everything, since many of us would just use notes. If there's a way to smooth those over so that there's a smoother transition from one section to the next, that may help. You may want to try some different cadences as well. You have a common one which is easy to listen to, but you might want to try and changing it up with different vocal variety, pace, maybe even trying taking on other people's voices, characters at times. It's just ideas and nothing specific that hit off of this one. The use of the visual aids worked out pretty well for the most part, and a good way to pull them together.
Thank you, Stephen. All right, now that we have finalized our last role for today, let's start with our prepared speeches section. Thank you, Kayla, for explaining your role as the supervisor of elections.
Thank you. Tonight I will be collecting everyone's votes using the chat. When it is time, we will be voting for best speech, best evaluator, most improved, and best table topic.
And finally, for our supervisor of elections, Kayla, can you please explain what your role is? Thank you so much, Ilana, for explaining your role as the grammarian for tonight and giving us a bamboozled word of the day.
As the grammarian, I will be listening for very colorful imagery and use of exceptional vocabulary and grammar, and suggest improvements for grammar as well. Our word of the day is bamboozled, which means to deceive by underhanded methods, to dupe or hoodwink, or to confuse, frustrate, or throw off thoroughly and completely.
Ilana, if you could give us the if you could explain to us what would you be doing as the grammarian for today, that would be wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, Susan, for telling us your role as the timer for tonight.
One of the skills Toastmasters practice is expressing a thought within a specific time. As timer, I'm responsible for monitoring time for each speaker in each meeting segment. I will operate the timing signal indicating to each speaker how long he or she has been speaking. For our speeches, to qualify for voting, speakers must speak not less than 30 seconds under their range minimum and not more than 30 seconds over their range maximum. I will signal with the green at range minimum, the yellow at mid-range, and the red at range maximum. I don't think I'm going to be bamboozled today, but who knows? And that is what I'll be doing tonight, Madam Toastmaster.
Susan, could you please give us the timers? Could you please explain us your role as the timer for tonight? Gosh, it's tougher than I thought it is. Okay. Thank you so much for explaining your role as the hour counter for tonight, Stephen.
I am here to point out your mistakes. So I'm going to be counting every one of them and be able to let you know just how many of them you made. So be careful on your ahs, your ums, your double clutches, your tongue clicks, and all the other clutch words and phrases and interruptions you may decide to add to your speaking, because I'm counting. Madam Toastmaster.
Let's hear from our first functionary for tonight, which is the hour counter. And our hour counter is Stephen Morgan for tonight. Please explain your role, Stephen. All right, now that we have done away with the theme of the meeting, let's get ahead with our functionaries. Thank you, Madam President, which is myself. Tonight's theme is April Fool's Day, and it is a backwards meeting. So if you have been confused all this time, it is because we are trying to have our meeting in the complete reverse order, and it is time I stated that. How many of you have celebrated April Fool's Day here? How many of you have tricked other people? Ooh. And been tricked by other people and have never ever forgiven them for that.
Point of order?
Yes.
April Fool's Day is tomorrow, so unless you're Volkswagen and did it on April 30th, we have to wait.
Well, we don't, because one of our members has April Fool's Day begun already.
Ah, so how is it? Did it go well? Can you tell what people did to me in advance, since you're in the future? It's not as good as Australia, but I'll take whatever I can get.
You have no idea. I'm totally disoriented right now. I have no idea what is happening.
Okay, we are talking in anticipation of April Fool's Day, which is tomorrow, okay? Is that cool, Mr. Bob Fisher? And
well, it's better than what Volkswagen did.
Okay. All right, April Fool's Day is a fun day where you play practical jokes on people, and we've all done that. Some of us still do that, even if we are hiding it behind our facade. It is not a national holiday, but did you know that there is a city where people do give that day off? In Ukraine, there is this city called as Odessa, where they do give off on that day, just so that people do have time to play those practical jokes on other people, which I thought was pretty fun. And I think people don't take jokes that seriously, or they do, in fact, take jokes seriously. Just having given that day, I don't think I will step out of my house just so that I don't give opportunity to people to trick me into doing things or trick me, period. But there are some fun facts that I found about this day that I wanted to share with you all. There was a year in which Sports Illustrated wrote an article about this great new pitcher the New York Mets had found. His name was Sid Finch, and he could throw the ball 168 miles per hour. The Mets fans were so excited. The only problem was that the story was all a joke. Hidden in the article were the words written, "Happy April Fool's Day," but then it was just hidden in the article, so people had to really find that out. Taco Bell once announced that they had purchased the Liberty Bell and were renaming it the Taco Liberty Bell. People were really angry until they found out that it was a joke as well. One year, Burger King announced a left-handed Whopper. They said they rotated some of the ingredients 180 degrees for left-handed people. Can you think about that? A lot of people came in the restaurant and ordered one just to find out the same freaking meal. Other fun pranks include flying penguins, UFOs landing, and even changing the value of pi to 3.0 to make math easier. Wow, wouldn't that help a lot of calculations out there? Thank you, Susan, for all the timers reports, and thank you, Madam President, for introducing me on the stage tonight. Oh my God, this is tough. Okay, let's hear from our guests for tonight. Adam, what made you come to the meeting?
I received the notice and was free this evening, so I thought I would join you again, as it's a pleasure to do so from time to time, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Okay, seeing that, all right, so tonight is Rupi's last meeting as the guest for our club because he officially joined Central Florida Facilitators. Woo! Your induction will happen next week because it's not officially April yet. All right, and for the other club businesses, for the month of March, we technically for the month of April, but we're doing it on the last day of March, we have our April Fool's Day, which is backwards meeting tonight. We will be having an Evaluate the Evaluators meeting soon enough. I don't have the date on me yet. And I also wanted to ask you all, May is approaching. Please let us know who would like to take on the officer role for next year, or at least next 6 months. Yes, if you feel like I'm thinking about you, yes, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking about you all. So please let me know if you'd like to take a role. If not, you will get calls from Susan, Stephen, or me, or anyone, basically. So we are gonna hunt you down. All right. And for other club business, our semi-annual awards and installation meeting will happen. Is it semi-annual? No, our annual awards and semi-annual awards and installation meeting will happen on the last day of June, which is June 30th. If anyone would like to host that meeting, please let me know, and that would be wonderful. With that, I think, thank you so much, Stephen Morgan, for inviting me on the stage and for that wonderful thought and pledge.
Now welcome your most beautiful Presidente, Priya. And now, of course, everyone hands to hearts and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the perfect thought for this meeting, I'm sure, comes from Søren Kierkegaard. If you haven't already seen the image. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Thank you, Madam Sergeant at Arms.
I now bring Central Florida Facilitators Club 9958 to order. And as Mr. Morgan already gave us the Pledge of Allegiance, I will not have to do that, or not have to. We already had that pleasure. However, what I will read is our Toastmasters mission statement, which is, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth.
All right, the meeting is finally officially done. Thank you so much, everyone. I know it might have happened with a lot of pauses and everything, but we did it.
Yay, we did it.
Don't ever do that again.
Hey, it's an annual tradition. Yes, thank you.
You missed your big moment, Rupi.
Yeah, when you could have